there's so much movie to still talk about.
There is so much movie. So Alan Quartermain goes back to London. We meet M, who is played by Richard Roxburgh. It's at this point that they start to assemble
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. League of what?
We meet Captain Nemo, the Invisible Man, and then Mina Harker, which, later we find out she's a vampire. But, I'm sorry, oh God, we're spoiling this amazing film.
No way, they would bring in a character from Dracula and she wouldn't be a vampire?
I know, right?
Nemo, Quartermain, the Invisible Man, and Mina, they go to the East London docks. They find Dorian Gray, who's played by Stuart Townsend.
Oh, boy.
And Dorian Gray sucks.
It's not just that Dorian Gray sucks. It's that...
Let's be fair. He's complicated.
I'm complicated.
Yeah, that's it. He has some of the worst lines, and I think the most offensive line in the movie that we'll get to. I don't know if Townsend is, playing,
Sorry, I'm just coming up with lots of crazy offensive stuff that Dorian Gray could say that's way more offensive than what he actually says in the movie.
Yeah.
Took a giant shit.
I think in Townsend's mind, maybe he's thinking, I'm going to play this, quote, camp.
And he does.
I guess, but it just comes across as I ain't putting this shit on my resume. So why not go out with a bang?
Well, I think he had just dropped out of Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah.
Because wasn't he Aragorn before Viggo Mortensen came on last minute?
I believe so, yeah.
Wow, way to recover from that.
Well, but I'm glad that he wasn't fucking Aragorn.
Well, and hadn't he done Queen of the Damned just before that?
I think it's just before or just after this.
Talk about a hot streak.
Yeah, but Dorian Gray sucks because he is the most obviously treacherous character I've seen in a while. I wrote, his mustache is basically twirling itself.
Growl.
In the middle of the movie, after they save Venice, it's revealed that this whole time that the big mystery is, ta-da, M, this guy who was in one fucking scene before, is the bad guy.
You?
It was all about getting all of you together, and Dorian Gray, my totally not obvious spy, has stolen elements of all of you to make fucking super soldiers.
He's stolen us.
But we've been hyping up the most offensive line of the movie bit with Dorian Gray. So Dorian Gray and Mina, of course, have to show down because they have their thing. The only establishment that we have of Dorian Gray is that he can't be killed unless he looks at his portrait. So M has his portrait in a room. Dorian Gray, being a fucking idiot, just leaves it there this entire time. So anyway, so they're sword fighting, and it's well, there's no rules established. Can Mina die? She can obviously walk around in the sunlight, so she doesn't have that vampire trait, but can she be killed? I don't know.
It's possible I can't die.
But Dorian stabs her with his cane sword thing, and he says,
I hoped I'd get to nail you one more time. I didn't think it'd be literally.
And that was the grossest thing I've heard in a movie for a while.
That line would work just as well if he took out the part about literally.
Yeah, again, that sounds like a Bondy type line. What is it in Thunderball when he shoots the guy with the harpoon? He's like,
I think you got the point.
Stick around.
Yeah, and we love those, but it's such a gross one.
Well, the thing about one-liners is... And if he even tried to apply my rules of economy of one-liners to this one and he deleted the line about literally, it would just come off as a sexual assault joke. And boy, it's not like that moment really needed to be any worse now, did it?
Yeah, but of course Mina's not dead, and she just grabs Dorian's portrait, which is sitting right next to the fucking bed. And she's like, you wanted to see whatever, look at it. And the CGI face, which I'm pretty sure we're using as the featured image for this post.
For sure. I thought the painting and his sort of meltdown would be kind of nastier. It's nowhere near satisfying enough. It's just sort of he kind of looks like a skeleton.
It's not goopy. It's just kind of dusty. And then
it's not interesting.
Yeah.
It looks bad. That's one thing. Okay, I know when an effect looks bad, that's fine. But sometimes it's okay that an effect looks shitty, but what they're going for is interesting. This is just as boring as the rest of most of the film's aesthetic. Oh, by the way, we didn't mention the shot of Dorian Gray plucking his eyebrows.
That was in the movie?
Yes, you can't see me right now, but I'm doing a chef kiss.